16 to shoot. Chris has got it now. Takes his defender into the paint. Shot off the window. Good. Chris Barton gets the Purple Eagles in flight. Maltzby on the right-hand bounce. Little hesitation move. Takes it down low against Dominic Robb, and that is swatted away. Well, he is climbing the list, folks, is Dominic Robb, as far as shot blockers all time go here at the university. Make it 185 now for Dom. Up 5-4, 14-10 left first half. Tate to Prochet, throw it in the paint. Dominic Robb backing down the defender. Soft right-hand hook is good. Well, if he catches it that deep in the paint, folks, you can pretty much put it in the book. 11. Here's Towns with it. James, floater for Dom. Slam! Dunk! The alley-oop finished by Dominic Robb. Rebound Towns. James kicks it left wing. Raheem a three. Good! Raheem Solomon knocks in that triple, and a timeout called by UNH. Entry pass now to Dominic Robb. Backing down Lester. Right-hand floater, good. Quick spin hook there by Dominic Robb gives us our second tie of the ball game. Right-hand pass now to Towns. He'll wait for Marv to set the screen. Two-pointer on the way is good. Count the basket. And Towns will go to the line. Out of the front court to Marv. Here's Marv all the way to the bucket. Shot on the way. Good! Count the basket and the foul. And Marvin Prochet muscled that one in. Entry pass to Prochet. Squares his shoulders. 14-footer. Good! Marv knew it. And that ball was on its way to the bucket. Marv yelling out some encouragement, trying to get the crowd into this one. Towns going to go all the way to the bucket. Floater on the way. That was a pass to Marv, who lays it in. Off the iron, no good. Offensive rebound, Dominic Robb. Back to Marv. His three. Good! Marvin Prochet shoots Niagara into the lead. Dominic Robb. Again, good defense by Niagara. Solomon the other way. The three is good! Raheem Solomon. Now to Prochet. Prochet to James Towns. Towns on the left-hand bounce. Little hesitation move. Pulls up. Left elbow jumper is good. Boy, that had plenty of arc underneath it, and Dave from inside the Gallagher Center. James back past Marv. His three on the way. Yes! Marvin Prochet able to get that one. Waits for Solomon to pop out of a screen. Raheem's going to step back. A three on the way. Good! Oh, what a big bucket that is. Purple Eagles is Marvin Prochet. Solomon with it. Raheem, crossover dribble, step back, a three on the way, good! A little wiggle, a little shake, and the triple by Raheem. Some oohs and ahs rain down from the Gallagher Center. Niagara by 10, timeout. By UNH, here's Kyrell Green with it. Throw it in the paint to King, backing down Guadarrama. Left-hand leaner is good. Well, Greg King, he had one thing on his mind, and that was taking that ball to the rack. Hammond now to Chris Barton. Chris in the paint, he goes. Pass to Kyrell, slam dunk with two hands. Kyrell on the finish on a great feed from Chris Barton. King backing down the defender, backdoor cut. James Towns reverse layup, yes! He's gonna stick it out here. Inbounds play to Towns. James with a step on the defender to the bucket, finger roll, yes! Split the double team, rips it away from the defender. Now to Leaf, free throw line jumper, good. Boy, that's a big time to break the offer there for Khalif Tate. Man-to-man defense by UNH. 15 on the shot clock. Niagara down by one. Here's James to the bucket. Runner off last. Good! And the foul! Count the bucket. James Towns. He cradled the ball at first, and then he went off the window, got it through, and he drew the foul. He will go to the line. Right. The paint is open. Crossover dribble on Towns. A two-pointer on the way. Left it short. No good. Rebound tapped by Barton to Khalif Tate, and the foul comes. Khalif Tate fouled with 5.6 seconds left. That one no good, and there goes the horn. And this one is over. As the Purple Eagles find a way to get this one into the win column. They even up the record at 4-4. A big win at home, 71-67.
You know, really what I would say about that is exactly what we talked about in the locker room after the game. Games are won different ways, and good teams can win games different ways. If you watch that team, New Hampshire, on tape, you know, their record isn't great, but they are playing extremely hard. And you saw that today. And, you know, they're a young group, and they're trying to find their way, but they're getting after it. And, you know, they did get after it, as did we. You know, we got after it too. And games were won different ways. They're not always pretty. They're not always free-flowing. Games are different, you know. And as a team, good teams can adjust to what the game is and find a way to win in different types of games. And I think we did that today. And then the other thing we talked about in the locker room is that we got something from everybody in that game. Everybody gave us something at different points in that game. And that's what we are, you know. And I feel really, really good about that because that's what I want us to be every game. Different guys, different nights, different guys stepping up.
Going off of that, you know, you had, you know, these two guys up here obviously had a solid night, but also Raheem Solomon came in clutch in the second half with some big shots to help get you guys that kind of 10-point lead, 10, 11-point lead it was there, and have just continued to talk about, you know, having, you know, players kind of step up and score when you guys need some scoring. Yeah,
well, Raheem's baskets were big. You know, we hit him when we would stretch the lead, and that's what we always talk about is play from in front and make them catch you. You know, but it's, you know, it's not just that. I mean, if you look at, like, you know, Chris Barton got us 10 rebounds. I mean, those are 10 huge rebounds right there. And then if you watch the game, at the end of the game, we were switching on a ball screen when 24 was setting the ball screen. 24 is a very good shooter, so he took us right in the post, and he's 6'7". And if you watch Chris, he really defended the post well. You know, Khalif, you know, didn't have a great game, but comes in at the end of the game, makes the jumper in the lane, you know, and then makes the 2 big free throws. You know, those are big plays. So, yeah, Raheem did a great job, but I'm, you know, and it sounds like coach speak, but you go down the list, every guy gave us something. Every guy made big plays, different spots in that game.
Yeah, you know, for you guys to come in and get another win, back-to-back games for you guys now, certainly to pull it out in the stretch, you know, what do you tell your guys there in terms of, you know, just kind of staying with it and not giving up even when they put that 7-2 run together at the end?
Yeah, and that's what we did. We stayed tough, you know, and if you watch us in some of our other games, some of our other wins, like Bonaventure did the same thing. Played from in front, stayed tough at the end. Pitt played from in front, stayed tough at the end. Wyoming played from in front, stayed tough at the end. You know, we've done that a number of times, and that's what we want to do. You know, we want to play from in front as much as possible, and then make them catch you at the end, and stay tough down the stretch.
Yeah, knowing New Hampshire, from obviously looking at tape and looking at them, they're a 3-point shooting team. What did you want to do? What did you want to do coming into the game to try to contain their shots a little bit?
We wanted to take threes away. They're averaging like 28 takes a game and like 11 makes a game. That's about what they are. And we talked about different than the last game, staying out on shooters, you know, making any raise-ups uncomfortable, trying to run them off that 3-point line as much as possible. I feel like we did a good job of that. And they were 9 of 34 for 26%. And I thought that was well done by us, you know, and that's what we were trying to do. The other thing we talked about was long shots, long rebounds, and our goal was to have our guards get 20 defensive rebounds in the game, and they came up with 23. You know, so yeah, we executed some things pretty well on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, James, for you, in that second to last defensive series, where you were on that defensive, that last play that they were going obviously for the shot to tie or take the lead. What was going through your head to try to keep him from not getting that 3-point shot, because you know that was probably what they were going to go for?
Well, when we came down, we knew that we just didn't want to give up any threes for them to go up at least one, and we had to come back down. So we were trying to force him to take either a tough mid-range or like a tough contested layup, and he ended up taking a mid-range, and we got a key rebound.
Yeah, you know, in the series before that, you had the layup and one and made the free throw to put you guys back in front. You know, that just talk about that stretch of you know, those 2 possessions to really you know, kind of help your team get to where you guys were to hold on for the win.
When we practicing every day, Coach Casey always tell us, like, the last few drills in practice we got to go hard because it's how it might be in the game, and we be putting ourselves in situations. And tonight it was that situation, and we had to come prepared. And he drew up a nice play, and we just executed it.
Coach, what did you tell your guys there in that timeout right before that final possession?
On that last possession?
On that, not the possession for
James's shot.
Possession.
Yeah, well, what we tried to do was put James and Marv in the action where they had to make a decision to either, you know, play James at the basket or play Marv on a pop from the perimeter. And James made a good read off it. You know, what I tell him is, like I tell all our guys, I trust your decisions and I trust your reads because they're the same things we go over in practice. So go make a play, and whatever your decision is, we're going to live with it, you know. And Marv, we executed well. Marv came up, set that ball screen. James turned it down, got to the basket, got an N1. You you know, and they did a good. They stayed out, didn't want to give that three up, and James got just enough of a corner turn to get the ball up on the rim and get the foul.
How nice was it to have Marvin back for today's game?
It was great to have Marv back. Marv is, and we have a few guys like this, but in particularly Marv. You know, he don't get embarrassed now, okay? He's not only a terrific player if you watch him play, but his value is there to us. But even more than that, his value is in what he brings every day to practice, the energy level, the work ethic, his consistency with what he does all the time, whether it's going good, whether it's going bad, whether he doesn't feel well or he feels great. That consistency every day, practice, off the floor, classroom, as a person, that brings so much to what we're trying to be and what we want to be as a culture. And we didn't have him, and we had guys step up and do a good job, and that's what I want our team to be. But to have him back it's important. It's really important to have him back. And I always feel, you always feel good when you're going through the neighborhood with all your guys with you, as opposed to going through the neighborhood with 2 or 3 guys. Tonight we had all our guys with us, so that was good.
Same question for you, Marv. How did it feel to be back?
I learned being hurt. I just learned a new side of me, watching the game from outside instead of playing it. So I got to learn on how comfortable my teammates is and where they score at. And I just learned about myself character-wise that, like, tough time don't last forever, tough people do. So I just kept my character, kept being happy, kept being a motivator as a leader from the bench, telling James, giving James pointers or what he should do, or Rael or Greg Quackamenza what they should do. So being back, it felt great. Obviously, I was a little rusty and I got to get back in game shape, but it felt great being back.
Yeah, you said you were a little rusty, but there in the second half, you really had some big shots, those 2 threes, and you had, a stretch where you kind of were feeling it. What was going through your head, and what kind of did you see in the first half that you wanted to correct in the second half?
I just told myself, it's gonna fall. Everything I shot, I feel like today felt good, so I know it's gonna be. Coach Casey always say, next shot, next shot, next shot. It just felt too good, and I came in confident. But I know them shots that I'm gonna get, when I get them back in the next game, it's gonna go down. So all I gotta do is stay confident.
Coach, for you, you mentioned that you want to see other players step up throughout the season and be, a deep team and have different players to kind of step up and make those plays. When you had, obviously, Marvin out, you had to have some players step up. To see those players continue to step up today, what does that mean for you and certainly for the future as you try to move on and build up on the depth that you have?
Yeah, well, as far as the future goes, Winston, we think about the future, but that's like way off the radar. I just concentrate, and we talk about this all the time, on the day we're in. We just want to be great in the day we're in. And if you do that, that's what allows guys to step up when you have an injury. If you're just in the day you're in, do the best job you can and be good in that day, right? And then evaluate it at the end of the day and what you got to improve on, what you got to keep doing. If you have that kind of mentality, you're going to have guys that will step up when there's a vacancy. Or, if one guy's not playing particularly well, now we need you to come in and play well. Because that's the mental approach that's needed in any walk of life to be good. And we talk about that all the time. And, it feels good to watch guys do that. We put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that court. And I admire these guys for what they do. People see them play the games, but they don't realize how hard they work, The classroom, the tutoring, the travel, the film sessions, the weight room, the practicing on their own, the campus, the community service, campus events. There's a long list, and there should be, because it develops them as young men, But it's really gratifying to watch them handle all that and do well. There's times when I coach, when I'm sitting there, I'm coaching, but I'm rooting for them too, because I want to see them do well. So to see guys step up in different spots and have good games and do good things and have a smile on their face, that's gratifying to watch for them.
With a week off, what's going to be the focus for you guys?
Well, we won't be off the whole week. We'll be off tomorrow. We're in finals, so that'll be a definite focus. We'll put a lot of time in to make sure we do well in the final exams and with our grades to finish up. We don't play again until Sunday, so there'll be some days of practice and then mixed in with some days off, so that we make sure our bodies heal and our legs alive. And, you know, then as we get towards the end of the week, beginning of the week, we'll pay attention to us. End of the week, we'll pay attention 80% to us and 20% what we need to do to be good in the game on Sunday.
Last question for you. Coming off of the win against Pitt, what did it mean for your team to come in here and you know, get another win and go back to back and, you know, kind of build off of what they learned from that solid win on Monday?
Yeah, well, you know, your season is made if you can go on some streaks, you know, and that's the next step in the team's development. We want to try to go on some streaks, and we're going to do that, and we're going to work towards doing that. So we do what we do all the time. We tell them, and I try to do the same thing. Enjoy this one. You should enjoy it, right? It's a good win. Enjoy it, right? And then when we step on the practice floor on Tuesday, it goes in the rear view, and now we're moving forward, you know. But that's pretty much the approach.